So Scott Picken here, and I'm going to bring you our lessons that we've learned on day 2 here at Necker Island, and I'm actually standing outside the temple. Now this is a really, really incredible place. It was actually built in 2007 for Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Jimmy Carter. I wish I could remember all of them, but they're called the Elders, and there were 12 of them, world leaders, that were brought together by Richard Branson so that they could go out there and help create the change in the world that they want. And this is the environment. I'll take you around. You can just let me do a quick 360 so you can see. So we're about to have a business session in here, and I'd like to just run you through just some of the lessons that we learned yesterday. So what was really, really interesting is Richard, I asked him what, well, it wasn't actually me, it was the person sitting next to me. I asked, what is the one thing that you'd do if you were 30 all over again? And he said, look after his health. He said health is your most valuable asset that you have, and really you need to do whatever it takes to look after your health. So that was really interesting, especially for me. The other thing is I thanked him very much because we've had incredible progress since a year ago. I was telling him a little about it and thanking him for his advice and what we'd done to implement it. And I was quite surprised by his response. He turned around to me and said, is your life any better? And it's a really interesting, poignant question because it's made me think quite a lot. And in simple terms at the moment, no, it's not. But I also believe that it's a stage where you're going through a learning curve, and a lot of the stuff we're implementing, it will certainly make mine and other people's lives better in the future, but it takes hard work to get it set up in the beginning. So yeah, it's I'm a big believer that you've got to put in the hard work to get the results that you want. So, but still a very interesting way of looking at it. The third one was the guys from Virgin Unite were here, effectively the charity that the Virgin runs, and they were talking about how the future is all about trust and transparency. They actually mentioned that there were surveys done where more than 75% of CEOs around the world are not trusted to do what's in the interests of the clients, of the community, of the environment. And that's actually an amazing statistic. And really what technology is doing is it's unveiling, it's lifting that whole kind of secrecy and distrust that is out there. And it's actually fantastic because there's things like the Global Guide now, which actually rate how companies react to their customers, to their employees, to the environment. There's another one in America called Bipartisan, where you can actually see who is actually donating money to which parties, so that you don't necessarily get involved in this whole political rambling. So it was absolutely fascinating, and I talk a lot about business for good. There's a great book that actually wrote on Richard Branson's books that I love so much. They talk about 100% human at work. So it's all about creating the work environment where people just, where you absolutely love your employees love each other, and it's really about being a family. And they talk about love the people in your company, and it's something that I personally, really, really want to bring to our company and to South Africa. It's not a very South African thing to have these incredible companies like Google or Zappos, and certainly, I want to. Mind Valley is another one that's absolutely fantastic. It was fascinating. They asked him, why he started Virgin, and he said, in simple terms, all he wanted to do was to make people's lives better. What an awesome saying. So yeah, I just wanted to make people's lives better. That's why Richard started Virgin. And then also, they did a survey to ask Virgin employees what they liked most about working for Virgin, and they said they love working as they're empowered to make a difference in customers' lives. And again, I thought that was really, really quite special. Another bit of information that was interesting is that the shared economy, according to PwC, is going to be worth $335 billion by 2025. So this whole shared economy and things like Uber and Airbnb, crowdfunding, you really, really need to understand what's going on. It's having a massive impact. People aren't just talking about it. It's very much like the trust and transparency. 10 years ago, it was kind of a nice thing to do, and it was kind of put out there with the tree huggers, and now it's becoming a fundamental part of business. People want to know that it's not only about profit, but about people and what you're doing on the planet, to really change the world. And things like what we're doing with the wealth movement, where I believe our true purpose on this planet is to solve the wealth gap, and our intention is to empower 1 billion people by 2020. And that's got nothing to do with profit. That is a purpose. We live in Africa. We see poverty every single day, and I truly believe that technology can solve that. And equally in the investment space, I am so frustrated with people, not being able to invest in quality deals, not having transparency, basically being hoodwinked and downright fraud, basically. and with a lack of understanding and lack of education around fees, etc. And I believe that again, technology can unveil that completely and give people complete trust, complete transparency, cut out the costs, cut out the middleman, and ultimately allow people far, far better solutions. And the last thing that I wanted to say was that I'm actually here. Oh wait, sorry, one last thing before I say the last thing. The other thing around team was that they said the culture and what Richard does in Virgin is to do distributed joy. How cool is that? So his job within culture is to do distributed joy within the entire company. So I'm going to come around here, and I just wanted to share with you in the temple here, because I thought I'd finish off with the last one, which is all about the elders. And it was interesting because Jean, who's run Virgin Unite for over 15 years, has dealt with all the elders. She dealt with them when they got set up. And she said, these are some of the, they're all in their 80s and 90s. And she said what was absolutely fascinating, and here I'm inside the room here. So every one of those pillars actually represents one of the elders when they set it up. And this is where we do all our business sessions here. But what was fascinating is that she says these guys never stop striving to learn. They're 90 years old, they're Nelson Mandela, they've really achieved a huge amount in their life. And she said that the key to them was that they were always striving to learn, and that every single one of them had got to where they were because of the partnerships that they've set up. So as Tony Robbins always says, if you want to be successful, copy successful people. Well, these elders in this room behind us is one of those rooms, and ultimately it's a temple, to be fair. And again, you're being told exactly what to do. We're all being told exactly what to do. Always be striving to learn, and you're only as good as the partnerships and the value that you can add to other people. And so those are my lessons. Finishing off here, day 2. And you can see behind me absolutely spectacular views right up at the top here where the temple is based. And this was actually built for the elders so that they could get together and solve global problems. Now it's time for me to go and get involved in the business sessions to do much the same thing. Cheers.